Well, all right, guys, look at this. This was the original newspaper that made me somewhat famous. In the darkest circles of the internet, I became famous thanks to this amazing thing right here. So I keep it and I treasure this very dearly, and it's awesome. Anyway, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, then you just don't know. But today I wanted to talk about something that this YouTuber said. It's Casey. It's not Casey Jones from the Ninja Turtles, but it might as well be. It's Casey, I think, the car guy. And like me, he's very upset with the internet and the modern world of technology, especially the government. Remember when I made the Toyota H2Go with the half moon concept and a bunch of stuff? And I used a bunch of fun people. Actually, not used, but we worked together as a team when I was a little bit younger. We worked together as a team with Marvimation, my company that was supposed to do so many brilliant things. And I know what you're going to say. You're so dumb, and you've never done anything cool in your life. You're such a loser, and please, I need you to change your hair, get a nose job, get rid of the fur in between your eyes. I started 3D printing with the 1010. Now look at this. Can you even tell what this is? It's amazing, isn't it? But you can still tell what it's supposed to be. And the 1010 produced this masterpiece right here. Eventually, I got pretty good with the 1010, and it became pretty good. But this was my first attempt at Pikachu. Then later on, I made this with the sparkles and everything. It's the much better version of this. Can you believe it? Anyway, so when people say, well, the problem is with you is that you're not successful, is because you just haven't built anything and you don't care about cars. What about this? What about this car over here? What about this, huh? I can't remember if it has like a Alfa behind. I think it was an Alfa behind and a Dino Ferrari in the front. I remember 3D printing this little, whoa. Okay, I made this for an awesome YouTuber that I follow who does really cool things with, whatchamacallit, what is this even called now? Can't remember. It's a yo-yo. Anyway, so I built this. I 3D printed, is this Squirtle? Very cool. What else did I do? So many incredible things, including making a Honda. A very cool Honda. I know. It was duct taped together because I didn't have a printer that was large enough to make this in one piece. And so that's why that is. But if I had one, right, the 3D model will definitely be able to print out in one piece. And you say, you never bring any cool American cars on the channel. Look, this is Ford. Now, if Ford actually had a company in the United States that built really cool drift cars like this, I probably would have bought it and decorated that. But they don't. And so this is a Chinese brand for the, I don't know if is this the Fiesta? Maybe it's the Fiesta, I don't know. Ford has a lot of cool cars. I know I'm all about Toyota, I'm all about Honda, I'm all about a bunch of other cars, but I like the Bugatti. So back in the day, I made a maquette. I turned your boring, usual Bugatti into my own version of the Bugatti. And you're like, well, why haven't you brought this to market? Because it's basically almost impossible to do that. That's why. If I could have, I would have. If I could have brought this design onto the market, I would have. I'm far more likely to do that in China and in other places where the regulation is not as stringent as the United States. That's just a fact, and that's why Casey he goes out of his mind. He's like, "Ugh." There's RARs all over his channel because of this. He's invented a very cool car. Of course, his is an actual car that you can drive with a really cool diesel engine that would make oil go further than what it does today. But he can't put it on the market for the same reasons I can't get this onto the market. Except he's got more following than I do, so he probably could. And then what else did I do? So much stuff. Oh, by the way, this car, not this particular version, but the Toyota version, Toyota Supra version, was made by a different company, Ravensburger. Ravensburger, the European. They think they made a Lamborghini 3D puzzle that they're selling, and it's doing very well over there. Again, I had made a 3D printable body that was a Toyota. I don't know, just having brain farts again. I have more brain farts than anyone else in the field. But anyway, I'm just showing you a bunch of stuff that... Oh, but I made a sword. I made a sword in the past. This was also part of the channel that you could 3D print and easily put together. What else? Oh, but you've never made any, like, proper toys, you know? Like, you couldn't work at Mattel or Hasbro. Of course you couldn't. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. You could never make it at Hasbro or Mattel. You couldn't possibly make a robot, a fully fledged robot, right? All 3D printable. Of course you couldn't. So what is this? Again, not necessarily that I made the whole thing myself, but the designs were mine. And I work together. I'm always there to tell you guys when I do things that other artists worked on it with me. But look at that. Look at that. It's like Zelda. You can have this robot. You can change out the arms. You can have it like a bazooka, like the Transformer bazookas on him. Or he can have a shield. And there is a regular bazooka, and then there was the golden bazooka. Because like the Golden Dome. Anyway, so the amount of things that I have built myself with the help of other artists that could have gone and been my moonshot, my $1 million business, whatever. So many things that could have gone and could have worked. But maybe if I'd gone to China, right? Maybe if I'd just moved to China, they would have happened. Because in America, as I said before, as somebody who migrated here, I did everything the right way. I jumped through every single loop and hoop that the government asked me to do. I did it the right way. Twice. Had to get my green card twice. And still, after graduating from the Academy of Farts University in San Francisco, I found scorched earth. Scorched earth. The best job that I could find was building and selling my 3D models for about $50 a pop. $50 a pop. How are you ever going to be able to buy a house or a car with that kind of money? It's impossible. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, yeah, I just ended up doing microlesion therapy instead. That's what I've had to do. Look at the bones. Look at the bones. Are those bones or what? Like, is that day 4 of microlesion therapy? Look at them bones. You can even see whatever that is over there. Look at that. Look at that. You couldn't see that day 1, could you? Anyway. So, of course, when an imbecile is an imbecile, they just rant for no reason. They just rant because it's fun to rant. I just sit in my car. I rant about nothing. Nothing. It's not truth. It's just my lived experience. What does it matter? Anyway, guys, I will see you tomorrow on the next episode of How Ugly Is My Face? And it just gets a little bit uglier every day. Is that a dimple or a wrinkle? I don't know.